Where we are is the very last piece of track from the Greeley, Salt Lake, and Pacific. These were put down in about 1882. This was to be part of a transcontinental line.
Like many dreams of vast railroad empires, the Greeley, Salt Lake, and Pacific Railroad ended up well short of Salt Lake, to say nothing of the Pacific Ocean. Yet the tracks did wind far enough into the Colorado foothills to make the investment worthwhile.
Well, from the 1880s on up to 1901, you saw a steady stream of trains, flat cars full of rock for building purposes. After the quarries played out, they opened up limestone quarries north of Fort Collins to bring limestone to the Great Western Sugar Company for the refinement of granular sugar.
That lasted until the 1980s, when the sugar beet industry went bust. No sugar beets, no need for the railroad.
I'm a historian myself, and to find a property that has a historic railroad on it was just really incredible.
Mary Humstone and her neighbors walk these tracks nearly every day.
One of the reasons we purchased this property was for its natural and cultural resource values, and that included the railroad track.
The railroad removed much of the track except in this narrow cut by the Poudre River.
This one was too hard to get to. I think that's why the scrappers couldn't get in from behind me, and they couldn't get in very easily from in front of me.
Leaving in place a little piece of Colorado history.
So just by luck, this little tiny piece of railroad track got saved.
Today, that luck may have run out.
This is an example of the 27-inch wooden pipeline that Greeley put in the ground in 1906, 1907.
Explosive growth along Colorado's Front Range has pushed the city of Greeley to upgrade the water lines that serve its community.
We have to get it from Greeley to Bellevue because that's where the water is. That's where the filter plant has been for 100 years. And how to get it through that area without hurting, damaging as much property as you can. We decided it was probably the best, least disruptive to go along the river.
Along the river means under the railroad tracks.
We were standing here at Point of Rocks, which was mentioned in 1881 irrigation papers, where the two head gates of the Larimer No. 2 and the Mercer Canals come out of the cache of the Poudre River. This is just a truly historic spot right here, let alone the rails and the bridges.
Landowners say that history will be wiped away by the pipeline.
This is a 60-inch pipeline they're talking about. They want a 150-foot construction right away. So if you can imagine, that takes us all the way into the Poudre River. It takes out everything around us.
I asked them if they could come through here without blowing up the rocks, and they wouldn't answer.
I'm an engineer, but I'm out there just basically to see, wow, this is a problem. You're right, ma'am, this is a problem, but we need to get our design engineers out there to see how we can avoid it or minimize it or, as you say, restore it. We don't know yet. We've never had such a concentration of historic places there before, so we haven't seen quite this situation before.
Greeley water officials contend they still have to examine the route to see what can be done. Residents say there are easier routes that would save a lot of trouble.
And there are other alternatives that follow highways and areas that have already been disturbed. So they have alternatives to destroying something that is historic and natural like this. We've tried to appeal to the city of Greeley in terms of our values in this neighborhood. We have petitions from 2,000 citizens in the LaPorte Bellevue area that asking Greeley to put their pipeline somewhere else.
For now, Greeley Water remains intent on its plan.
This is a project that Greeley needs. It's in our 2003 Water Master Plan, and we are proceeding.
I just think it's wrong, and in Colorado we've got to start learning how to protect some of the places that are special to us.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We're not going to let Greeley come through here and tear this up.